up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another reaction video for you guys. But before we get into the video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, share and like the video, and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. So we're gonna hop right into this video. So in this particular clip, this woman is talking about a friend of hers who wasn't happy in her marriage. She decided to get divorced to be outside, and then she instantly regretted it. So we're gonna get into the video. This happens quite often, and a lot of these women are in denial and they don't want to accept the fact that they made a huge mistake, but they end up regretting it because it didn't turn out quite the way they thought it would. Okay, so we're gonna get into it. Make sure you chime in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on this one. Let's get into the video. Here we go.
So recently I caught up with an old friend and she was telling me that she got divorced, and I was so surprised because her and her husband were such a cute couple and they had been together for 11 years. So I asked her, like, what happened? I figured something bad happened. She's like, honestly, I was just bored. Like, my husband, all he did was work. I was a stay-at-home mom. We had 3 kids and I just got lonely and bored.
Now, let me just pause it for a second. How often do we hear women talk about being bored? And that, you know, men are boring and this and that, they're not fun and all of this. But we also hear a lot of women complaining about having to work and having to go 50-50 and pay bills. They think that a man should be a protector and a provider. But in this particular situation, this woman was bored, right? She has 3 kids. She was a stay-at-home mom. So she didn't have to work outside the home. Her husband was clearly the breadwinner and he was paying all of the bills, but because he's paying all of the bills, he has to work. Keep all of that in mind as we're listening to this, because this goes to show you women are confused about what it is that they want and they make horrible decisions based on that, and then they regret it later. But let's continue.
And she says that when she would bring it up, like, he would take her out, but it was just boring to her. Like, she needed some excitement in her life. She just felt like she was just a mom and a wife, and her husband just wasn't doing that for her. And she had other friends that had, you know, boyfriends, or like they had just got married and they were always going out, always going on vacation, always partying, like going to the club, going to the bar, hanging out with friends, and they did none of that. And when she would bring it up to her husband would always tell her, like, I gotta work. Like, you know, they had a big house, they had nice things, like he was just trying to work. So they ended up getting divorced, and now, you know, she's single, she lives alone, she's working, and she's dating. So then I told her, oh, well, that must be exciting, like dating and stuff. And she's like, no, I hate it. And I was like, why? And she's like, because all they want to do is just have fun. They just want to go to the club, they just want to go to the bar.
But I thought that's what you wanted. Miss ma'am, I thought you wanted to have fun. Your marriage was boring. It was not exciting. So now you're single, you're able to go out and date and go to the clubs and have all that fun that you thought you was missing out on while you was married. That's not what you want either. This is why I say confusion will mess you up. So now you're out here and you're able to date and go out and do all this fun, but now you miss the solid, stable relationship that you had in your marriage. You walked away from your stable livelihood with your husband and your kids to go out here just to be somebody's screw toy. That's not fun. What do you think? These people want commitment? No, they're having fun. And I don't know what these women be thinking, but you know, they make these irrational choices and then they're miserable and not understanding what all of this is really about until they're in it. It's just crazy, baby. Let's continue.
They just want to hang out, have a good time, and then that's it.
Yeah.
She said no one wants to help me out. Like, I'm trying to find someone that's gonna help take care of my kids. She's like, I just want someone to be a provider, not just a good time. So I was all like, well, wasn't that what your husband was doing?
Right, exactly.
And she's like, I know. And I guess now her ex-husband is dating someone, like, seriously. They have been divorced for a total of 3 years, and he has been dating this girl for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
She has 2 kids and they're already living together.
Ooh.
She says that he's fully taking care of her. Like, the girl doesn't work, she's a stay-at-home mom, they haven't had any new kids, but they're planning on having kids. And she's pissed because she's like, how can he move on so fast? Like,
ma'am, you did it to yourself. You did it to your goddamn self. You walked away from a completely decent, solid relationship, a marriage where you was a housewife, you was able to be at home with your kids, and you took it for granted. You didn't realize that the grass wasn't green on the other side, and now you stuck like Chuck. You sitting at home miserable. Now you got to work. You got to pay your own bills. You got to do it by yourself. You had to go through all of this to realize that these men out here ain't trying to take you seriously. They're not trying to. You had a husband, and now you got 3 kids. So you think these men are going to look at you as something special and want to provide for you and do all that for you when you had that in your husband? The father of your children was there taking care of his family as he was supposed to. And you walked away from that thinking that you was going to get something so much fun and so exciting. And now you ended up with nothing. Now you pissed and trying to blame it on him, thinking that he's supposed to sit back and twiddle his thumbs and just sit there and wait for you to get your mind right. No, you made your decision. You made your bed, so now you got to lie in it. He has nothing to do with that. You walked away, I'm sure, because you were the one unhappy. And now you got what you wanted. And now the grass isn't greener. You're not happy. You're still miserable. And you mad because he didn't sit back and wait for you to get your shit together? Come on, y'all got to do better. You got to do better. That man moved on. And now that woman is probably sitting happy. And then he took her on with her 2 kids too. He saw a good woman, an opportunity. He didn't mind taking on her and her 2 kids and moved her into the house, probably gonna marry her. He's taking care of her. She ain't gotta pay no bills, and now you looking stupid. I'm just saying.
You know, I can't even find nobody, and he just found someone so quick, and he didn't even want to give us another try, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was so confused because I was like, okay, so you divorced him because he was always working and you were bored. So now you are single, going out, having a good time, dating, but you don't like that. Now you want someone to take care of you, a provider. And your ex-husband, all he wanted to do was be a provider. That's why now he is dating someone who he has no problem providing for her and her kids.
Right.
And she's pissed because she's like, why would he go and find someone who has kids? Like, he already has kids. Why would he want to take on that responsibility? And I'm like, wait, aren't you looking for someone to take on that responsibility?
Right.
I was just giving her a hard time, not gonna lie.
No, but you telling her right. Because now she has 3 kids. And she's looking for something she already had with the father of her children, her husband. So now you walked away from that thinking that you're going to find all this fun. And now you're miserable. And now you're looking for a provider all over again. Now it's going to be harder because you have 3 kids that you want a man who is not their father to come in and take care of them plus you. And you want all this fun too. You think that these men are going to be sick and sitting back waiting for you to get it together and waiting on you. No, they're going to move on. Once you walk away, that's it. And once men move on, they move on. There ain't no coming back. Ain't no changing their minds. And they don't move like we move. We the ones go back and forth and flip flop and, pussyfooting around back and forth like, oh my God, I want this, then I don't. I want it. No, when they make their mind up, they move on. And that's something that women don't understand about men. Most men, especially if you walked away from them and you hurt them, they're going to move on. They're going to deal with it the way they got to deal with it. And they're going to move on. And when they do, you're going to be looking stupid. You're going to be the one stuck and wondering what did you just do? And you're going to have to deal with the consequences of that because that's a wrap. And good luck with finding a man who's going to want to do exactly what your husband was doing and pay all the bills and take care of you and all your kids. Good luck with finding that because you made it more difficult for yourself. You played yourself. That's all that is. That's all it is. Let's continue.
It was kind of funny to me because I was like, I could tell that she regretted her decision. I could tell. And I've seen a lot of people do shit like this where they get divorced for reasons that are not realistic. I'm not gonna say they're not valid because everybody's feelings are valid, but they're fixable problems. Like, I don't know if you guys have this wrong idea of marriage that is supposed to be like fun and happy all the time. It's not. I feel like every relationship literally depends on compromise. Like, you gotta compromise something. You cannot have everything.
Wow.
And to be honest with you, like, if she was willing to give up on him that quick, like, maybe she just didn't love him that much. Because I cannot even imagine just me being like, oh, I'm bored, I'm gonna divorce my husband. You know, like, no, you figure it out, you work it out. But I could tell that she's regretting it because what she thought she wanted is not what she thought she wanted.
Exactly. And shout out to the lady telling the story, because she is on point. I say this all the time. Marriage is work, and it's meant for you to work through your issues. It's not, oh, as soon as something doesn't go your way or you feel a certain kind of way, you just walk out. That's not what it is. But a lot of these women get it twisted. They think it's supposed to be all this trips and all this fun that these other people make it seem like. And then when it's not that, you ready to jump ship and think that you can find somebody who's going to be a sole provider, take care of you, your kids, give you these trips, all these fun moments, and you're going to just live happily ever after like that? No, it don't work like that. But they find that out really quick. But it's done. You created the mess. Now you got to live in it. That's just what it is, baby. Ain't no coming back from it. So listen, y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell. You know what it is. Chime in. I want to hear your thoughts on this one, baby, because this was a doozy. But let me know your thoughts, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.